think we're all good to go. Okay. So, I think I can see most of you on there. Scooch this round. So standing up, as we always do, come and find a comfortable position on your mat, hands onto your hips. If you have the playlist, the Thursday morning playlist, it's on Spotify. So if you did want to put that on in the background, this is a great opportunity because you've got that you're on mute, so no one can hear what tracks you're playing. So yeah, if you did want to play music in the background, if you find that helpful for you, then use the playlist. That's what they're for. That's why they've been shared. Okay, so one foot behind the other, rolling on the top of your toes. And really giving the toes a good squeeze, a good little bit of pressure down through the leg. Because what we want to do, we want to enliven the feet, wake the spine up, so go the other way, do some circles the other way. Just start to get some of the fluid, some of the lymph moving up through the body. And especially if we're feeling a bit sort of sluggish, a bit tired, a bit achy, swap feet please. This is all really quite normal to feel like this heaviness, achy, tired legs, particularly maybe an achy lower back. It's just adrenal fatigue, so go the other way. We'll talk about this a little bit later if you're coming to yin tonight, but we'll talk about the spleen energy and its job of transformation and transportation, and why that might be a bit slow, it might be a bit sluggish at the moment. Okay, so do a couple more and then come back so that the big toe joints are together. Spread out the balls of the feet. Drag the heels back so you start to get a better connection, a more grounded and rooted connection through the feet. Bend the knees and we'll do about 8 to 10 circles of the knees going in this direction. Very good. And then change direction and do some the other way. Look down at your feet, they don't have to stay flat, they can move, the toes can lift. Enjoy watching your own feet, letting them spread out and take up a bit more space. How lovely it is to be at home so often, so come up to stand with the legs in brief shape and not have to be wearing our confining clothes and footwear all of the time. So back to the same foot position, big toe joints together, a little bit of a gap between the heels, bending the knees, the legs now stay still and you are taking your hips in a circle. So I'm thinking about your tailbone, and the way I like to describe it to people is if you imagine that you have a pencil in between your bottom, and I want you to draw a circle in the air behind you with that pencil. So keep drawing the circle, letting the circle become as big as you can, and really starting to wake up and explore some of those abdominal muscles. Okay, so don't be surprised if you start to feel a little bit tired doing this. Please remember the direction that you're going in, the circles, which direction are you spinning? And then briefly come up to stand, squeeze the inner thigh muscles together, send the front of the hips forwards, lift the heart up, reach the arms up today, look up towards your thumbs and just see where you can go. And then gently come back down, remembering which way you went with your circles so that you can now go the other way. Nice. Just keep exploring shapes, spaces, lengths, making sure also that you've got, you're just aware of how this is starting to move, maybe the spine, maybe the sides of the waist, how the rib cage can get involved here. Try not to isolate the area into any one location. Just let your whole body move in a fairly organic way. Okay. And then come up to stand. Good. Squeeze the inner thighs. Send the front of the hips forwards nice and strong. Lift up the heart. Reach the arms back a little bit further this time. And then gently come back down. Good. Leave the hands together. Link the fingers, elbows together. Pump the wrists, the forearms up and down. And let the wrists roll in these lovely circular motions. Very good. And then swing it out. And then change the fingers, change the links, and go the other way. So it feels weird, might feel a bit strange. Keep breathing. Good job. And again, swing the arms out. Nice, okay. So one arm goes backwards, as though you're swimming backwards, back crawl. Let that happen without having to think about it. Stop thinking about it, just think about the other arm. Take the other arm in a forwards motion. So you've got one arm going backwards, one arm going forwards. And again, try not to isolate the area into just the arms or just the shoulders, but let the sides of the body turn, let the waist turn. Just feel yourself right down to the soles of the feet. Notice how your feet are holding you upright, and there's that movement across the soles of the feet. Travel that movement up into your ankles. How does it feel there? Travel it up into the knees. Good. And then stop. Nice. Just have a little swing from side to side. And for this, keep the knees a little bit soft, turning the head to look over shoulders, and starting to take a little bit more movement higher up into the upper part of the back. Okay, so we've worked the lower part, we've started to mobilize into the pelvis, around the hips, around the lumbar spine region. Now we want to kind of get all of the spleen energy that sits sort of in the lower part of the abdomen. What it does is when the spleen energy is working effectively and efficiently, it moves upwards. So when we're feeling sluggish, when we've got aches and pains in our lower body, then it's because, or it can be attributed to the fact that the spleen energy is not strong enough and it's not moving upwards towards the lungs. And if you think about what the lungs do, the lungs are our defense. They're like our immunity. And if the lungs aren't being supported by the energy of the spleen, then we might be more likely to come down with a cold or to fall ill or to have an allergy to something, those sorts of things. Okay, so let's slow it down. Good. And then we're going to go the other way. So the other arm this time goes in that backwards crawling motion. And I can't stress how important it is enough to move the shoulders like this, to move the arms like this. Let's go forwards with the other arm. We really want to warm up the arms, the upper body, the wrists, all of the joints, because we rely on them so heavily for this style of practice where we're often coming down onto our hands, often supporting our upper body with our shoulders. Okay, so let's just keep swinging, thinking about your feet again, your lovely, strong, sturdy feet, holding you upright. Good. And then slow it down and swing it out sides to sides again. And I love this. I already feel better. I was waking up this morning feeling a bit achy, a little bit tired and a bit headachy. And I just know that after doing this, I'm going to feel completely different. And I already start to feel different. This just makes me feel better. So this sequence in and of itself, now that you're all getting really familiar with it, and I know the normal Thursday crowd, you know this inside out anyway, but for those who don't do this, think about remembering it and maybe using it just as a standalone practice, just this warm-up bit that we do from the feet all the way up to the head. So keep letting the arms really get longer, getting a little bit more momentum going. Make sure the knees stay soft because they want to act a bit like a shock absorber. The head turning to look over the shoulders. Lovely. And then let's slow it down. Good. And come to a natural sort of stop. And when you do, just stand for a moment with your eyes closed. Enjoying whatever new sensations are happening within your body and anything that has changed. If you woke up like me with a little bit of an ache here or there, or a tightness or a stiffness, has that gone? Has it been forgotten about? If it hasn't, still honour it, still be aware of it, because this is your body's way of communicating with you. It doesn't have a thinking part. The thinking part happens for us in our brains and is completely separate to what's going on in our bodies. Our bodies communicate with symptoms and sensations. So make sure we constantly tune in to that awareness. Okay, so then let's drop the chin towards the chest and allow the shoulders to kind of hang a little bit forwards. You're not rolling forwards, but you are just creating a little bit of softness along the back line of the neck. And then gently sweeping the chin across towards one shoulder, not forcing this, just gentle. And then going across the middle towards the other shoulder. So really slow here. I know that some of the movements we've done already have been fast, but this time just slowly easing out the neck. And then just like we did with the bottom, I want you to imagine that the tip of your nose is a pencil and you have a bit of paper in front of you, just hanging in the air in front. And now what I want you to do is with your nose is draw a circle on the bit of paper that's in front of your face. So you are not letting the head go back too far. The piece of paper is not above your head. It's directly in front of your face. So just take a few circles, draw a few circles on the paper in front of you with the tip of your nose. And then the next time that your chin comes close towards your chest, you will pause and then you're going to go back the way you came. So just taking a few circles, go the other way. If you need to release any tension from your jaw, you could move the jaw in circles as well. If you've got any clunking, any crunching, please don't panic. These sounds are quite normal. We hold quite a lot of tension in this very top of where the skull meets the top of the spine, the atlas and the axis points. Okay, just keep going. And then the next time that you are down towards your chest, just pause there and then slowly lift your chin, lift your face. Good job. Okay, well done everybody. Let's come towards the top of your mat, please, if you're not already there. And let's stand with the feet about hips width apart. So just like normal, remember that as you become more flexible, more open, you can bring your feet closer together, but always start with them apart, stay with them apart, especially if you have any lower back or hip sciatic issues, okay? Let's just stand with the hands in front of the heart. So come to Anjali Mudra. So palms together, shoulders relaxed, and close the eyes just for a moment longer as you just remind yourself of maybe one or two things that you woke up this morning feeling grateful for. And if you haven't had those thoughts yet, bring them to mind. What is it that you are grateful for? Even if it's just the fact that it's another sunny day, or the fact that the rest of your family have left you alone so that you can practice peacefully this morning. Get your sanity in check before the day gets going properly. Okay, good. So with that in mind, reminding ourselves of how fortunate we are to be doing this, let's take an inhalation and bring the hands up, just straight up towards the ceiling. Look up towards your thumbs and lengthen through the front of your body. Then gently breathe out and bend your knees. Really big bend of the knees. First forward fold. Be kind to yourself. So no big back, no big forward folds, no big stretches from the spine. Chin towards the chest, arms dangling down towards the ground. Let's pop the hands onto the shins just underneath the knees. Lift the sit bones a little bit as you pick the heart up, trying to flatten your spine, heart about the height of your hips. Then gently fold down towards the ground. Put the hands on the floor and walk the feet slowly back to a high plank position. And we'll just hold this here for a breath or two. If you need to come down onto your knees to give your wrists or shoulders a break, please do that at any time. Don't force yourself to do anything you don't feel comfortable with. Those of you that have got straight arms and straight legs, press back through the heels, lift the back of the heart slightly and draw the navel in towards the spine. Good. Let's pop the knees down. Let's take the bottom backwards towards the heels. Notice the toes are still tucked under, so stretch out the feet that way. And then float the chin and the chest forwards to lay the tummy down onto the floor. Untuck your toes. Breathe in, lift up into a little Bhujangasana. Strong back body, lift up front body. Come down. Lift up to hands and knees and pause in downward dog. So just find your steady position. Maybe a little pedal, maybe a little dance through the heels as you press down through one heel and then the other, opening up a bit more stretch, a bit more length along the back line of the legs. The calf muscles might still be feeling a bit tight, so just take your time. Okay. So then let's come to a stationary downward dog. Let's keep softness in the knees, but pick the sit bones up. Let the spine lengthen. Allow the chin to come a little bit closer towards your chest. Just take another breath here. Then as you breathe in, look forwards and walk your feet just slowly up towards the top of your mat. Hang down to the ground. Hands to heart, breathe in, come all the way up, hands lift high into the sky. Stretch up through the arms. Breathe out, bring the hands down to the chest. Good, take a breath here. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in again, hands lift. All the way down to a forward fold. Remember, soft knees, hang the head, hands to floor. Halfway lift, breathe in, Ardha Uttanasana. Hands come down to the ground, you can step or jump your way back into a plank. This time, knees, chin, chest down to the ground, or you can swoop along the floor as we did previously. Lift up to Cobra Pose. Strong legs, firm the tops of the feet onto the floor. Come down, hands and knees, tuck under your toes and find your downward dog again. Just take a couple of breaths here. Just starting to press back through the thighs, lifting the sit bones, arms nice and long, pressing into the thumb and index finger side of your palm. See how that can just gently inform what's happening into the shoulder joint. Okay, this time, right foot, step it up towards the top of your mat, please. Pop your left knee down onto the ground and lift up onto your thigh. One palm on top of the other. As you press gently into the palms, straighten gently into the knees, straighten your arms, lift your chest away. Notice how that stretches the left hip. Keep that lovely lift and bring the arms all of the way up and then slightly behind you if you can. Hold this nice and steady from the pelvis. Don't let the pelvis change where it was. Breathe in. As you breathe out, bow back down to the ground. Back to plank pose, please. Good. Knees, chin, chest. Cobra pose. Breathe in. Come down a little bit as you breathe out, downward dog. Good. So navel in, sit bones back, feeling the length increasing in the spine. Left foot, step it up to the front. Right knee down. Come up onto the thigh, hands on. Maybe swap the palms over this time. Straighten the arms so that you are lifting the heart away from the knee. Create space between those two regions and then bring the arms up. Lengthen through the front body, open the chest. This is always going to lift up the spirits when we open the chest like this. Breathe in and out as you bow down. Step back to plank again. Hold this here, well done. Those that want to can either do knees, chin, chest or swoop, or those that wish to can come into chaturanga and then into upward dog. So tops of the feet on the floor, legs firm, leg arms straight. And then downward dog when you're ready. And again, just pause and breathe. And enjoy. Enjoy the heat that's building. Good job. 2 more breaths here. And 1 more breath. And then let's look forwards. Either jump or step your feet up towards the top. Come into a halfway lift, then fold down, all the way up to stand. Breathe in, hands lift, look thumbs. Breathe out, hands to heart. Okay, so just pause for a moment. Well done, everyone. Keep breathing. Okay, so keeping your hands at your heart. Work your feet so that the big toes are together. Bit of a gap between the heels. Let the shin bones fall forwards. Allow the sit bones to start to sink down. You can keep the hands at the heart, but sort of lift the heart a little bit. Create a bit of a back bend, please. And then if you want, the hands can lift. You can look up slightly or gaze forwards, whatever is your preference. And just breathe in and out, a little bit of Utkatasana. Good. Then from here, breathe in. As you breathe out, Uttanasana. So standing forward fold. Separate the feet if you need to. Halfway lift, breathe in. As you breathe out, step or jump back. Come down into your knees, chin, chest or chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra. Good. Downward dog, everybody. Pause and breathe. Settle. Okay, in breath, right foot lifted up high. Step it up to the top of your mat. Make sure that the left leg is fairly long out behind you. You can put your left knee on the floor if you need to. Your right knee stays above your right ankle. Breathe in. Either hands can stay on the knee or hands are going to come straight up to the sky. Reaching up through the fingertips, pressing back through the left heel if the left knee is lifted. Take a breath in here. As you breathe out, spin the left heel down onto the ground. Lower the arms to warrior 2 pose. Look down, right fingertips, keep the chest nice and open. Drop the right sit bone a little bit lower. Good. Forearm onto the thigh, please. Cartwheel the left arm alongside the ear and look towards your left thumb. Cartwheel back, left hand onto thigh. Right arm lifts up to the sky. Beautiful. Spin the hands down, spin up the back heel, step back to plank pose. Chaturanga or knees, chin, chest, upward dog or cobra, strong arms, strong legs. Downward dog. Well done, you're still with me. Left foot up to the sky. Breathe it forwards. Right knee can be down on the ground anytime. Breathe in. All of this next little sequence can be practiced with the knee down. Take another breath here. Beautiful. Right heel spins down, arms lower to horizontal. Look down, left fingertips. Warrior two. Good. Parsvakonasana, cartwheel right arm alongside here, make that lovely long line. Drop the left hip. Cartwheel back, reverse warrior. Fab. Spin the hands down, spin up the back heel, step back to plank, straight down to chaturanga or knees, chin, chest, upward dog or cobra, downward dog. Beautiful. Pause here, breathe. You need to rest in child's pose. This is a great time to do it. Keep breathing. 2 more breaths. Just use the lovely steadiness of the breath to kind of find your center again. And if you kind of lost the breath or you found yourself only regaining the breath once you come to these still poses, then that may be where you're looking to take your practice to next, is that continual flow and a focus on the breath throughout the poses. Okay, so let's look forward, either jump or hop or step your feet up, hang down, come all the way up to stand, breathe in. And breathe out, bring hands to heart. Good. Leave them there for a moment. Just gaze forwards, find your steady, find your center. Okay, let's breathe in, hands lift. Straight down, breathe out, all the way to the ground. Halfway lift, breathe in. Breathe out, hands to floor, step or jump back to plank. Knees, chin, chest or chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra. So remember, strong straight arms, lift the heart. Come back into downward dog. Right foot lifted up to the sky. Step the right foot forwards to the top of the mat. Spin the left heel down to the ground and straighten your right leg. Leave your right hand either on the floor, on the ankle, on the shin, wherever is appropriate for you, and take the left hand up to the sky for triangle. Just spinning around from this direction, noticing space in the waist, long, lovely length into the legs. Good. Now gently lower the hands back down to face the front leg. Keep the front leg nice and straight if you can. Have the heart about the height of the hips and take both arms forwards. If this is too strong, just do one arm or keep the arms in front of the heart and Jala Mudra at the chest. Nice, you can do this. I can see you, well done. Keep breathing, come on Anna, you can do it. Okay, bring the hands to the heart now. Bend the right knee just a little bit. Baby step the left foot slightly closer and to the longer edge on the left hand side of your mat, like this. So you've got a little bit of width there. Lower the heart so it's in line with the hips. I want you to have a big, strong stretch down this right leg. Left hand can come down to the floor or you can rest it onto the leg. And the right hand's going to come up to the sky for reverse triangle. Look up towards your thumb, please. Okay, well done. Take another breath here, you've got this. Breathe in. As you breathe out, gently lower the right hand. Spin up the left heel. Wiggle the left foot back. See if you can get it to go as far back as possible without taking the right foot off of the floor. Then pop the left knee down. The right knee will want to bend, but take the hips back now to straighten the right leg again and lift the right toes off of the floor. Feel that nice big stretch all the way down the back of the right leg. Then placing the foot back down onto the floor, placing the left palm underneath the left shoulder, tuck under the left toes, send the left heel back. If you feel too long, just baby step the foot in, it's fine. And now take the right hand up to the sky. Spin the body completely around to the right. So spin the chest, the rib cage, keep the right hip a little bit lower, the left heel pressing back. And then if you can, cartwheel the right arm alongside your ear and look at your right thumb. Okay, so Parivriti Parsvakonasana. Breathe. Good. And then backwards cartwheel with the right arm to bring the hand down to the floor to step back to a plank pose, which suddenly feels beautiful. Knees, chin, chest on Chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra. Downward dog. Woohoo, well done. So just pause and breathe it out for a moment. Find your steady. Rest in child's pose if you need a little bit of an extra break. Good job, you've got this. You're doing brilliantly. Okay, so let's do left foot. When you're ready, let's bring the left foot up to the sky. Step it up towards the top of your mat. And for triangle pose, it's best to have the right foot behind the line of the left heel. However, because we're starting this from a low down position, so just remember that this is not us coming down into the pose. So the left hand can rest on the ankle, the shin or the floor. And then the right hand, you want to revolve the body as you bring the right hand up. And notice the sensation that that creates here. We want to be pressing into the floor and moving the energy up through the body. That's what all these lovely standing poses, that's what they do for us. So keep breathing, look up towards the hand. Very nice. Take another breath in here. As you breathe out, gently bow the right hand back down to the floor. Now then, you're going to need to baby step the right foot across to the right edge of the mat and maybe a bit closer in to hang forwards down over the front left leg. Try and keep the leg straight if you can. Keep the left hip moving back and think about the pelvis staying fairly level. Don't worry about how close you come towards the thigh. Certainly don't force yourself down. Then you're going to lift up so the heart is in line with the hips. Either hands at the heart, this might be strong enough, or you can reach the arms forwards. Don't let the heart collapse. Keep a slight sort of engagement through the front body and press into the right heel. Good. Breathe in and out. Well done. Let's lower the hands down. You've done brilliantly. Well done. Lift up the back heel and wiggle the right foot longer. And see how long you can go before you want to lift your left toes off of the floor. See if you could get that really long distance. Nice. Then bending the left knee, put the right knee down onto the floor. You might need to just bring the left foot in a little bit closer. Good job. Let's take both hips back now, and this time lift the left toes off of the floor for that extra bit of stretch down the back of the left leg and into the calf. Take another breath in and out. And then let's float forwards. Leave the right hand, place it down onto the mat. Press back through the right heel, lifting the right heel off the knee off the floor. You can leave the knee on the ground if you need to. Spin the body to the left, take the left hand up to the sky. Hold this here. You could always rest your hand onto the side of your waist if necessary. Or you can cartwheel the arm alongside the ear and look towards your thumb. Try not to collapse through the front line of the body. Keep the legs nice and long, the left knee bent. Good job. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, bring the hands down. Step back to plank. Knees, chin, chest or chaturanga. Up, dog or cobra, strong arms, lift the chest. Breathe out, downward dog. Good job, everybody, well done. Stick with it, you've got this. Breathe in, breathe out. Just notice how the backs of the legs feel a little bit longer. Maybe notice how the heels are a little bit closer towards the ground. Keep enjoying all these spaces that you're putting into your body. Okay, so we're going to step 1 foot forwards because I want you to turn to the side. So it doesn't matter which leg it is as long as you can still face the camera. So for me, I'm going to step my left foot forward so that I can turn and look a bit like this. Okay, so I'm in a sort of wide leg half forward fold. I haven't got my feet too far apart and I've got my toes facing forwards. Fingertips are on the floor. Feel free to use a block if you need a bit of extra height. First of all, we're going to keep engaging the tummy. We're going to be sending the sit bones back slightly and taking the arms out wide to the sides. So lifting the chest, nice long arms, look down at the floor, press into the outside edge of your feet as well as the big toe joints of each foot. Good job. Hold this steady, well done. Now bring the arms forwards. Reach forwards, look down at the ground, nice strong legs. Okay, now keep reaching forwards and start to lower your fingertips as far out in front of you as you can without letting them touch the floor. Really stretch them, you're diagonally reaching, and then when you can't go any further, put your hands down. Let your head hang between your arms and send your sit bones back for a nice long upper body stretch. Okay, so breathe in, float back, sort of forwards, so your hands are underneath your face now. One hand stays under the face. Breathe in, take the other arm up to the sky. Breathe out, lower that hand down. Breathe in, take the other arm up, turning the body. Good, come down, breathe out. Walk that hand now all the way over towards the opposite foot. Breathe in, come up. Remember, you can stay in the middle if you prefer. Breathe out, walk yourself over towards the other foot. Breathe in, arm lifts. And again, breathing out. One more on each side. Breathe in. Breathe out, travel across and up. Breathe in. Come down and just pause for a moment, hanging forwards. Maybe hands in line with the feet, fingertips pointing forwards, elbows bending, head coming down low. See how close you can get the crown of your head towards the floor. Very nice. Well done, everyone. Okay. So then walking yourself back to this halfway lift position. Turning your right toes out, bending your right knee and leaning towards your right leg, to the inside of your leg. Leaving your right hand on the inside of the foot, take the left hand up to the sky. Nice. Okay, so gently come back down, walking the hands around towards the other foot, turning those toes out. The other toes can stay pointing forwards or slightly in. Try to bend this left knee enough so you've got a right angle here and your thighs parallel with the floor. Hand to the inside of the foot so you can press shoulder and knee against one another, and then lifting the right arm straight up. Keep pressing shoulder and knee in the direction of each other, opening up side body. Good. And then gently coming back down. Walking yourself back round to the center. And the last thing I want you to do in this position is take your feet as wide apart as they will go. So your toes are still roughly forwards rather than pointing outwards. You have them try to turn them in slightly if you like. And then lowering yourself down. Maybe you can get yourself down onto your elbows. And that might be okay. That might feel all right. Some of you might like to prefer staying upright. Some of you may be able to reach for your ankles. And hold on. Just take another couple of breaths here. Well done. Let's bring the hands back underneath the face. You've done brilliantly. Ease the feet back in. We're going to come down to kneel. So just gently release yourself. There's some tender little movements going on here. So maybe do some circles with the hips as you just bring some alignment back in. And I put a nice video, Donna Fari actually, so go the other way. Donna Fari is a wonderful yoga teacher from New Zealand, and she comes to London quite a lot to do teacher trainings and events and workshops. I really, if you love your yoga, you'll love working out with her. She's doing some online stuff on the weekends, which it looks really, really good. Okay, so come to high kneeling. We are so nearly done. Okay, tuck your toes under. Rachel, do you need to rush off? 5 minutes. Okay, all right, tuck your toes under, please, everybody. If you want to, bring your knees together, you can do. I want you to send your hips forwards, bring your hands to your heart. Keep sending your hips forwards and lifting your chest. And it's really interesting, isn't it, when we start to see ourselves in our kind of videos, what we can do, what we think we can do in our heads and what we can actually do in our bodies. And yeah, so getting this back bend, I want you to think about opening up the thoracic part of your spine. And if you can take your hands back, go for it, but don't force that to happen. If that's too strong, you can keep your hands at your heart. Remember to keep sending the thigh bones forwards, the hip bones forwards. The heart lifts up to the ceiling. Nice. And then gently release. Bring the hands back. Untuck your toes. Ease yourself back down onto an all fours position and round your back body into a cat stretch. All right. Then let's just do this again. So come back to kneeling. If you want, you can tuck your toes under. A little bit of a calf stretch. So you're going to take your hands out in front of you, palms together, thumbs up. Take a breath in, squeeze the inner thighs towards one another, and then lower your body back and then forwards. And we're just going to do a couple of these, just building up some strength into the thigh muscles. Remember, we want to keep the energy moving upwards into the rest of the body. So just do a couple more of these if you can. Strong legs, keep the back nice and long and straight. Last one. And then back forwards. Hands can come down to the floor. Roll the upper body. Okay, and then come to sit down. All right, so untuck the flesh of your bottom. Breathe the hands all of the way up towards the ceiling. Lower the arms out in front, reach forwards, and then bring the hands down and let the chin fall towards the chest, and just find yourself folding into Paschimottanasana. Bend your knees if you need to. If you can keep your legs straight, try to keep the feet even. Press out through the balls of the and the big toe joint side of the foot. Press the backs of the knees into the floor. And just facilitate these last few stretches, just releasing some of the lactic acid in your muscles. Okay, so another breath. Then taking an inhalation, coming all of the way up. Hands come behind, please. Roll the shoulders back. You can stay here and just lift the chest. Those that want to can point through the toes, lift the front of the hips, lift front body. Strong upper body, keep lifting the heart up towards the ceiling. Take another couple of breaths here. Well done. Good job. Then releasing back down gently. Very nice. Crossing the ankles and folding forwards towards the floor. Take another breath here. Then as you breathe in, lifting yourself upwards. Taking one hand behind, the other hand across towards the opposite knee, and just sitting in a seated twist. Feel free to adapt this if you need to. Okay. Then taking another breath, coming back to the center, turning your body around the other way. Keep breathing. And then again, inhaling back to the center. Take a little mini turn back. Change the cross of your legs. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, fold forwards again. Keep both sit bones engaged with the mat. Just a little bit of stretch to the back of the hips. Then inhale, come all the way back up to stand, or to sit. Okay, so sit comfortably, taking your fingertips to the floor next to you. Take a nice big breath in, reaching the arms up above your head, and breathing out, bringing the hands down to rest in front of your heart. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders, soften your jaw. Just take a few easy breaths in and out. As we begin to bring our practice to a close, if you have the time, if you have the luxury of time, then feel free to take a little mini shavasana. Just 5 or 7 minutes will be plenty, because it's right at the start of the day. You could just come to maybe have a shavasana later in the afternoon if you need to break your day up that way. But while we sit here and we just focus our attention inwardly, we remind ourselves to stay tuning in to the sensations, the feelings that are arising from our physical body as it continues to communicate with us all of the time. And then remembering what it was that we felt grateful for at the start of this morning's practice. And then translating that into something or a number of things that's going to happen today to make today great. What is it that's going to happen for you today that is going to make your day fantastic? And see whether you can use the energy and the momentum of this practice to fuel that event, make it happen, make it real. And then taking another lovely breath in, opening your eyes. Well done, everyone. Namaste to you. And I wish you a very peaceful and a very pleasant day, whatever it is that you do. Okay, so well done.
scooching over,